What's up guys, welcome to another video. In today's video I will show you three, well actually five new phones that I got in my collection. So basically it is yet another small phone lot, but I'm not going to call it a phone lot now, as most of these are going to be most of these are going to be given away to a friend of mine. A few are going to be kept, but a few are also going to be given away. So yeah, and I've already done two videos, with one being one giant lot with that Windows tablet and all the other goodies. That was a huge success. And the other small phone lot, the second one, where I got the S3, the S7, the M9 Prime camera, and a couple others. Actually, I'm being wrong here. Hold on a damn minute. Those were six devices, six phones, and now I got six phones to show again. So basically, don't really look at the title. This is yet another phone lot, a part three basically, and people seem to enjoy them. So I really hope you will. Yes, you will. You right there watching my video will enjoy this too. So first of all, I'm going to show a phone that I actually forgot in the previous phone lot, I think. It's nothing special, really. It's going to be given to a friend. This is a, well, as you can see, you've probably already guessed it. This is a HTC One M7, or the original HTC One, if you will. This is my third HTC One M7, and this one is not in good shape. This one is very cracked. But the back looks really good, but there's a dent there and there's a dent here, and this one is really nasty, as you can see. If the, yeah, there you go. Now this did come with a case, and the speakers do work really well. But this did come with a case. Now this was probably a flip case of some sort, because you can see some residue here from like one half. And what am I going to do with this case? I'm gonna give it to my very own personal One M7, which is this black one that I got from one of my friends. And I opened this up and I did a battery replacement. Well, battery replacement. I did a battery swap, with one that was in slightly better shape. Because the battery in the other one was the other M7 that I had, which was also a white one, just like this, except it was really wrecked. This one actually works pretty well, but the one that I had was really wrecked. The display was water damaged. It was way more cracked than this. It was like almost incredible that it even worked. The phone itself, just the frame and the plastics, it all looks gross. It didn't look in good condition, but the battery was in better condition than the one in this one. So I swapped them, which was an easier said than done task, very much. The M7 is an absolute hell to take apart. In fact, I've taken apart a HTC One M8S with battery issues, and it still has battery issues, unfortunately. And I've taken apart one M7, which is this one. This one is also cracked, but this one is only cracked right there. It's very minor. I'm going to turn it on for you, because why not? I like it. And it has that it has that fart vibration motor in it. Yeah, there's the very minor crack there, but I don't really care. And there's also a little crack there, but again, I don't really care. This is the best condition M7 that I've got so far, because these seem to be really common here, which is funny. Now this one is on a custom ROM, of course, but I've unfortunately forgotten how to put custom ROMs on HTCs from scratch. So just from stock all the way to custom. Because the tutorials with ADB don't work with me. But yeah, now I have a case for my M7, so I can just throw it around and stuff and just use it casually, which is fun, because I like this thing. I did a thermal paste mod on this, so I want to keep it in good condition, because this is the fun little phone that I modded, And yes, I did a thermal paste mod on here with copper tape from the other M7 that was going to be scrapped. It also has those wide volume buttons, and also a wide SIM tray from the other M7 that I scrapped. I do still have the parts, don't worry, I didn't throw those away. And I also still have the original battery from this one, just in case this one goes bad. But yeah, anyways, that's that. Another one M7. They're really common here. This is my first one, my second white one, and this one is just going to be given to a friend. I'm not really going to do anything with this. Could throw a custom ROM on there, but I really don't know anymore. I've really forgotten. It's been a long time since I've custom ROMmed a HTC. But yeah, that's our first device. Let's move on to the next one. And now we're moving on to the devices that are actually from this lot and not from the previous one where I accidentally forgot this HTC. So first up, I'm going to show you a phone that I've wanted for a very long time. Just like the S3. Again, this is one of the older smartphones that I've really wanted in my collection for a long time. And I've actually been trying to get. This is the famous LG G2. And yeah, I really want one of these. But this one is in not great condition. Well, first of all, it's almost mint. It's almost mint condition, if you don't mind the display. The back is in really good shape. There are barely any scratches on it. In fact, I'd say most of the scratches are my fault. The Korean version has a removable back, which I didn't even know, but this is non-removable, so it has a non-removable battery. The coating on the camera is worn off, but I don't care, man. It's cracked exactly at the spot where the selfie camera is. Yeah, and it's a really nasty crack, and I have no idea what this condensation thing is. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments what this is. Maybe it's water damaged. I don't know, but despite all that, this does work, and it's still turned on as I took pictures with this phone. Now this doesn't work, and I'll show you. There's also a crack in the middle there, but that's my fault. Yeah, this has the famous touch issues. Oh, there you go. There it did work. Which sucks because this runs KitKat. This doesn't run Lollipop, so this is a pretty rare G2, and it also just looks gorgeous. Like, this is such a good looking device for 2013. But yeah, like I said, this is one of the oldest smartphones that I really want for my collection and to just mess around with. But as you can see, if I swipe, nothing happens. But if I hold and then swipe, see, that works. So it takes really long time to register. I did take pictures with this phone, and I have taken pictures with this phone. And generally pictures look really good. I've been trying to use this thing, but it's really difficult. The battery is also kind of fucked in this one. It doesn't last that long. And I don't know if I've ever showed these, but I've had a G2 before, two actually. They were white on the front and black on the back. And they both had issues. One of them had a dead LCD pretty much. Well, dying. The backlight was dying, and the screen was just dying in general. But I think later the motherboard broke, but I'm not sure. But I kind of just Frankensteined them into one working G2. The battery was good. The battery lasted longer than this one, which is surprising because this one was, of course, dropped and then put away because the touchscreen stopped working, which is a very common issue with these, along with motherboard issues. Which is really unfortunate because the LG G2 is such a weird and cool phone. Yeah, I basically made two G2s out of one into one good one, but it also had touchscreen issues, which was super unfortunate because the display of mine was mint. There were barely any scratches on it, yet there were still touchscreen issues. And I put some deoxit on the touchscreen connector and all that, and cleaned it, and it all didn't help. So eventually, I just gave all the parts away to one of my friends who also messed around with phones, and I still have some of the parts laying here because it was such a failed project. I just had them laying around, disassembled and stuff. It was a real mess. The other LCD I threw away, of course, because that one was fricked. But yeah, it's really unfortunate because I've worked on one of these G2s, two of these G2s, like I said. They're really weird on the inside. They're really weirdly built. The battery is actually pretty easy to replace, which is not something I'm, afraid of or something. That's pretty easy to do. But I just find it weird in general that this is like a plastic back and stuff, and there's, you can remove this back, of course you can, but it's not meant to be removed. And I find that so weird, because my G2 Mini, the reason why I really want to get one of these is because my first actual proper smartphone, and I've done a lot of my early videos with that phone, was a LG G2 Mini that I got from my grandpa back in, I'd say, 2018. I think actually 2017 maybe even. Really long time ago. I was really young back then. And I have some nostalgic memories with that phone. And that very phone still exists, and I still have it. I never broke it or cracked it or anything. Original battery still inside. It's just that it's in use. My grandpa used it for work. Yes. My grandpa still uses an LG G2 Mini for work. That phone has gone through so much, man. I loved it. My grandpa owned it. Then I owned it. Then my mother owned it. Then I owned it again, and now my grandpa owns it again. It's really one of those phones that's just getting used to the ground until it just dies or something. Um, so yeah, but I unfortunately was never able to make that many memories with that phone due to it only having 8 gigs of storage and only a gigabyte of RAM. So everything that I did on that phone, I had to instantly delete due to storage constraints. And I really regretted updating it to Android 5 because that made even less storage available. And I have some really nice memories of this beautiful, bubble unlock thing, this bubble unlock effect. I absolutely adored that back in the day when I was a kid, and I love seeing it on this G2. It brings back many good memories. Although these icons don't really bring back memories for me. Maybe it's because I updated it so soon, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I really want to get one of these working so that if I get my G2 Mini back, which it won't take that long till I get that phone back. Trust me, my grandma wants something better. I can compare the two. And I really want to throw a custom ROM on one of these G2s and see how that runs, as I have a custom ROM on my Note 3, which has the same CPU as this, the Snapdragon 800, and it runs really well. That thing runs Android 10, and it runs smooth as heck, and it's not even that slow. So I would really wonder how far I could push one of these, because the Note 3 has absolutely horrific battery life. Meanwhile, this is pretty alright. I would be able to use this much easier than a Note 3. A Note 3 dies within like an hour. It's absolutely horrible on that particular phone. Despite it being an absolute monster for its time, even more monstrous than this, because this was a beast for its time. But yeah, um, that's this G2. It has touchscreen issues. I cannot really use it properly. I'm not going to give this away. I'm going to keep this as a collection piece. Maybe I will open it up and reconnect that touchscreen connector, because almost every part of the screen works. It just takes a long time to register. Look, if I move my finger, the bottom works, the middle section works, the top just doesn't work right. Yeah, that particular area right there especially. So I cannot swipe down the notification shade. And I also haven't set the date and time. It's not actually 5 a.m. Don't worry. So yeah, that sucks. But I'm going to keep this as a collection item. I'm gonna maybe try to fix it by opening it up and reconnecting that touchscreen connector. But I doubt that this will work fully. Especially with that weird condensation issue. I have no clue what that is. Maybe I can fix that with a heat gun. But I'm not sure. I think this has gotten some other weird damage of some sorts. But yeah, this wasn't used for that long. This was used by older people. I did take a look through the pictures. This was used by an older couple, I'd say 60 plus age, that just used this for a couple years or so or something, and then they dropped it and it had a nasty crack, and then they put it away because the touchscreen fucked itself, as these G2s tend to do. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. This is the LG G2 D802 16 gigabytes. Let's move on to the next phone. So next up is a quick little one. I'm not gonna bother you too long with this one. This is a Sony Xperia, a really cheap one. When I pulled this out of the bin, I thought that this was a Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc S, which is probably the oldest phone the oldest smartphone ever that I'm still looking for, because I really wanted that phone as a kid and I almost ended up buying one, but I was broke back then and I still am now. So but no, this was not an Xperia Arc S. I do absolutely adore this Flow design. It feels super nice in the hand. It does have that iconic little light at the bottom, which I adore. This is a Sony Xperia J, and it works completely fine. There's nothing wrong with it, other than that this is just a cheap, crappy little Xperia that can't really do much, because it has 512 megs of RAM and a Snapdragon S1, which is just, yeah, you cannot do much with that. You're much better off with something like like a HTC Sensation or a Sensation XE, which has the S3 in it. But yeah, you cannot do much with this. I'm going to give this to my friend just for kicks and giggles. So yeah, that's it. I'm not going to keep this Sony Xperia J. Just got this so that I could save it. Let's move on to the next one. So I'm gonna do this in a random order. The next one is probably the nicest phone out of, yeah, this is the nicest phone out of this lot. Absolutely, without a doubt. I'm just gonna show that in the middle of this video. This is a Huawei. This is a Huawei Mate 20 Lite with that iconic design. Yeah, this is a Huawei Mate 20 Lite in gold. Now this does have some cracks, such as there and there, but there's nothing actually wrong with this phone. I tested it and I've been using it and I've been loving it. It works completely fine. Oh gosh, it's getting all of the YouTube messages right now. It works completely fine. And I went to the forest with one of my friends today and I took pictures with this. And this phone, man, this thing takes amazing looking pictures. Like, I don't really think you'll be able to see that properly on camera, but these are amazing looking pictures for a phone that is 7 years old. Yeah, 2018. Absolutely amazing. That 20 megapixel lens is awesome. But yeah, as you can see, I took pictures in the forest with this. Especially this one with the bokeh in the background. It looks awesome. It looks super good. It looks absolutely stunning. Like, take that detail in right there. It's great. It takes amazing pictures. Now, yeah, I've completely tested this device. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I got it out of the, and the reason why I'm mentioning that so much is because I got this out of the little bin in my at my internship that says broken phones on it, along with the G2. Which the G2 is broken, but this is not broken. Yes, it's cracked. Yes, it has pressure marks with the LCD, which sucks. But this is just a regular Mate 20 Lite that works really well. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this device. It ran a really old version of its software. It ran a version that had a security patch of May 2020, which means this came out in September 2018. This couldn't, even if they bought this at launch, right? They could not have used this longer than 1.5 year. So this was really not used much, which means the battery in this thing is amazing. The battery life on this thing, this has only drained 7% in the entire day. And I'm not kidding. Look, this thing has 91% of its original capacity still. That is absolutely amazing. And as you can see, I did 3 sessions with this. So it's pretty accurate too. That is absolutely incredible. The battery life on this is absolutely amazing. When I fully charged these phones to battery health test them, I took these back to my internship to drain them. This thing lasted almost my entire work day, which is from 9 to 4 p.m. 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is incredible. It lasted till half 4, which is amazing. That is 3:30 p.m. That is absolutely amazing. And that's with benchmarks. That's with benchmarks, full brightness, full Bluetooth on, NFC on, Wi-Fi on. It was connected to Wi-Fi, everything to the max. Absolutely amazing. Incredible battery life performance for such an old phone. Really amazingly done. Now, this is my best Huawei yet, actually. I don't have that many Huawei's. First of all, I got the P20 Lite back in 2021, in the middle of 2021. Later, I'd say in 2023, maybe even last year, I got the P Smart 2019, which I have both of those phones still. I just never used the P20 Lite because I just never used it. Back in 2024, the beginning, I'd say, I also got a Mate 10, non-light, non-pro, just a normal Mate 10, but that had backlight and touchscreen issues. And it was also locked, and it was also Chinese. So I gave that away. And now we have this Mate 20 Lite. So this is technically my best Huawei yet. And I'm absolutely thinking of keeping it. I'm not thinking of trading it yet. Because one thing I've really always wanted to do is go in the camera app and like go to one of those highways with like bridges over it and go on the bridge at nighttime and do the light painting thing. You'll see what I mean. That with the traffic trails. That's something I really want to do. That's something you can only do with the Huawei camera app. But since I've seen that I can also do that with my P20 Lite or my P Smart. I think I'm gonna try to custom ROM this. At least I've been willing to. I'm not sure if I can. There don't seem to be obvious twerp recoveries for this device, which really sucks. As a P20 Lite's actually really good for custom ROMing, but then again, I have my P20 Lite as a collection item. I don't want to use it. It's in really good condition. The back of it, the back glass or plastic, whatever it is, it scratches really easily. It doesn't feel nice in the hand, whereas this feels amazing. This aluminum on the sides, this is like flagship grade. This feels amazing to hold in the hand, this phone. Whereas the P20 Lite has like these sharp edges on the screen, sharp lips on the edges of the screen and the back glass. And I also only have a book cover for it, so it's not even that fun to use. The P Smart has this nasty plastic build. Only has 3 gigs of RAM, has the same Kirin 710 chipset as this. So it has a lack of RAM, and it also just cannot run custom ROMs at all. So don't mess with that device either. That was my previous camera. And yeah, that basically, yeah, those are pretty much all my options. So yeah, I think I'll keep this stock, but I think that's my only choice. I don't have any Huawei phone that I can custom ROM apart from the P20 Lites, but I don't wanna do the P20 Lites. Um, so yeah, but yeah, that's the Huawei Mate 20 Lite, my best Huawei yet. Keep that in mind, because in the future I might get another one. Who knows? Really nice phone. This is the 4 gig RAM, 64 gig storage option variant. So no 6 gigs of RAM variant here, but I cannot really care, man. This is still my best Huawei yet. I love the EMUI 10 on here. It looks a lot better than EMUI 12 on my P Smart. EMUI 12 is awful in my opinion. It looks really bad. Everything is really flat. All the icons look boring, whereas this looks classic Huawei. And the notification shade is one of those ones where if you swipe on this side, it gives you the panel options, and if you swipe on this side, it goes to the notifications, which is atrocious. Some people like that. I don't. I think that's atrocious. So yeah, but I'm not 100% sure what to do with this other than take pictures with it and do that little light tracking thing, whatever it was called. I really want to do that at some point. Maybe I'll take this with me in a couple of days when I go to the forest with my best friend. Who knows? But yeah, that's this phone, the Huawei Mate 20 Lite, new in my collection, with a couple cracks, but I really don't care. I love this phone. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one, we still got 2 phones remaining, don't we? Yeah, we got 2 phones remaining. Now these two, I'm gonna show both of them at the same time, as both of these are going to be given away. As I don't like these, especially one of them. Despite that, this might actually be the best phone that I got in the collection yet. Okay, so first of all, this one. This is a Xiaomi Redmi. This is a Xiaomi Redmi Note 8T. Yeah, I don't get Xiaomi's often, especially at my internship. That is incredibly rare. Now, this one has exactly that thing that I meant. That here you got the buttons, and here you got your notifications. I hate that. I'm an absolute hater of that. You can like it all you want, but I hate it. But yeah, this is a Xiaomi Redmi Note 8T. This one is pretty awful. Basically, I wanted to remove the bloatware from this device, as there is so much bloatware on this. Just look at it. This is horrible. I've got some horrible ear. TikTok is there too. That explains everything. There's some horrible stuff in this absolutely horrendous app fault thing. And there are a whole bunch of ads in the music app. There are ads everywhere. There's recommendations everywhere. It looks horrendous. This is MIUI 12, which I do like the look of this. Now this phone is the top end model of the Redmi Note 8T. With 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, which is really sweet. That's a lot of storage for a free phone. In fact, that's probably the most I've ever gotten from a free phone. That's an incredibly big amount of storage. Now this just has the Snapdragon 665 with 4 gigs of RAM, just like the Oppo A5 2020 that I have that I use for random games and stuff. I still use that phone. I still kind of like it. But it only has 3 gigs of RAM, which is super annoying. So I tried custom ROMing this after that point, and I didn't want to. I made a Xiaomi account. I got this thing. I tried bootloader unlocking this thing, and it just wouldn't get recognized by my laptop. Well, it would, but the software, the Mi Flash Unlocker, would not recognize this. Even with trying to install drivers, it would say that it couldn't install drivers and please try again. So I'm just going, and at that point, I just gave up with this device. I'm probably going to give this away to one of my friends. He has a Xiaomi Redmi 9A that I can try to get and maybe try messing around with that. But that's a much worse phone than this. Now, don't be fooled by the quad camera setup. These are pretty bad. I did a camera test with this, and the results are not great. All of the shots are done in 48 megapixel. They don't look. I have 3 pictures here. They don't look great. Yeah, just zooming in, everything looks really soft and grainy, and the processing is all right. I wouldn't say the processing is that bad. It's just that, yeah, it doesn't look good. It's very grainy. It's also really soft in some areas. These were all full resolution 48 megapixel shots. They don't look good, honestly. In fact, I compared this with a Galaxy S2, and the difference wasn't even that big. For a 48 megapixel camera, this is one of the worst. I'd say this is like Samsung Galaxy A12 levels of bad, which is bad. This does have an 8 megapixel. Now some other camera shenanigans. This also has a ultra wide, which is I think 8 megapixels. I haven't taken pictures with that, but I honestly just don't want to. I know the cameras are bad on this. And this also has a macro lens, which weirdly enough I wasn't able to use. There's literally no mode in the camera app to use that macro lens. So that's absolutely completely useless because I just can't use it. And a useless depth sensor for those stupid people who take portraits, which I don't. Come on, man. So yeah, this is in not that good of a condition, but it is better than the Huawei, sadly. There's a crack there in the display. It does do a little bit of a pressure mark, but it's so little. Yeah, there you can see it. There's a little nick in the display there, and there are just scratches going over it. But I really don't care. This is still in really good condition for stuff that for a free phone. The back is glass, which I really like. This feels a lot better in the hand than the Oppo. The Oppo feels like a plastic toy. It does have a few nicks and scratches, but again, I really don't care. This phone is going to be given away to my friend. He can mess around with it all he wants. The battery in this is cooked. Absolutely cooked. This only has 70% of its original capacity. Accu battery is not on there anymore because this resetted itself after I tried unlocking this thing, after removing the bloatware. Because after removing the bloatware, this device just started boot looping all the time, and the only way I could get out of it was by resetting it. So I had to get all that data gone. But the first, I did 2 sessions with this. The first did 64% battery health, absolutely atrocious, and the second time did 70. It's probably a little higher than that, but battery life on this is horrendous. Unlike on the Oppo, where which has the exact same Snapdragon 665. On the Oppo, the battery life is amazing, but on it's absolutely atrocious. This device just has nothing good for going for it apart from the display. The display is pretty good, I must say. It gets a kind of bright, but not bright enough for outdoor use. That's for sure. I like the design of this too. I like this color too, although it does look kind of like a cheap Wish knockoff phone. The battery life on this is horrible. It is not good. It was also the first to die when I drained all of these at my internship so that I could do a battery health test on all 3 of these. So yeah, that's this phone, the Redmi Note AT. It's kind of a mess. I thought it would be the best phone in this lot, and maybe on paper it is, but the battery life sucks. The camera sucks, and the camera is slightly better than the Oppo, but not even that marginally. It's not even that big of a difference. Not worth it. Um, what else is horrible about this device? MIUI is absolutely horrendous on this. There's so many ads, so much bloatware, and if you remove it, it will just start boot looping, and you'll have to lose all of your data to even use your phone again. Um, um, Despite that, there are custom ROMs for this device, which is just absolutely hilarious. Maybe it's an issue with my particular Xiaomi, but this still sucks. I'm definitely going to give this away. I'm going to trade this for something else that is equally as crap or something. But yeah, let's move on to the next phone. That is the Redmi Note 8T. Now, our last phone here is yet another Huawei, which I am also going to give away. This is probably this is not the oldest, but definitely one of the oldest. This is a weird little old Huawei. I don't actually know the model number of this. All it says is Huawei LYOL21. Absolutely sounds like crap. I have no idea what actual model this is. Let me look that up for a second. All right, I found it actually. This is a Huawei Y62 Compact. Yeah, whoever named it that way. 720p display. This is a MediaTek Huawei, which is funny because they always put their own silicon in there, the Kirins. But no, this is a MediaTek running in 32-bit mode, despite that it can run 64-bit, which is just funny. 1.3 gigahertz quad core with a Mali T720, which is pretty surprising. This device came out in 2016, actually. I just saw that. I thought it was much older than that. Kind of weird, a device in 2016 still running Android 5, I think. But oh well. 5.1, 720p display. It looks alright. 2 gigs of RAM, which is pretty sweet actually. That's pretty damn good. I would have definitely used this back in the day, back when I had my LG G2 Mini. This would definitely have been better. The camera is 30 megapixel, 5 megapixel front. The camera on this is nothing special. I took pictures with this today, and it's very meh. The speed of this device is actually not too bad. But as you can see from this little scene here, it's pretty soft. It's not too bad, but it's nothing spectacular. I say it's something on par with an S3, maybe a little bit better. But for a 2016 device, it's not really particularly incredible or something. Battery on this is alright, but also not that great. But yeah, this is also going to be given away along with the crappy Xperia, the absolutely crappiest of the crappiest Redmi, and the M7, and I think the rest I'm going to keep. The LG will be kept, the Huawei will be kept, the Mate 20 Lite, the S3 will absolutely be kept, but that's from a different lot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why I mentioned 3 phones, because mainly it is the Huawei, the Redmi, and the LG. But yeah, the Redmi is gonna go away. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Once again, most of these phones are going to go away. So I just wanted to make a video about them, that I even got them in the first place before I, lose track again, and have a whole bunch of phones here that I didn't make a video of, and I'll have to explain how I got it again if I ever show it in a video, which is confusing for the audience. So yeah, there you go. Basically our third phone lot. I'll show it to you. These are basically all of the phones except for the S3 that's sitting there, and my OnePlus Nord sitting there. But yeah, this I got, this I got, this I got, this I got, and this I got, and this I got. Those are pretty much all the phones. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and see y'all in the next video.